Hello, and thanks for listening to Understanding Your Articulation Agreement. Why is it important to understand the Articulation Agreement? The Articulation Agreement is the first document in an articulation process. Everything that follows is dependent on this first agreement. So it's really important that we get the document right. When you come into your meeting with faculty and we discuss articulation, if it's approved, you will get a chance to review a document that's been prepared for you. This is the time when you want to verify that all the information on the agreement is correct. Once we make it through the signing process and the document is fully executed, we can't modify the document after that time. And we generally only establish our agreements in the fall. So it's very important that we get it correct before we have everything signed. It's also important to understand the terms of the agreement because you, as the instructor, are going to be working with your students and identifying who should participate. And you're going to need to know what they need to do and what will be necessary for them to be successful. So you really want to understand what's expected of students. And down the road, you're going to want to become familiar with the processes that follow this agreement. That is covered separately, but just understand that it is a process. And so you're going to want to start here and then move through the rest of trainings to be sure you're informed about the entire process. Let's start by looking at a very basic agreement. This is what a Mount SAC document will look like. And I'm going to take it into parts and kind of go over each section with you and hopefully provide some clarity. So here at the top of the agreement, in the top right-hand corner, you see the agreement number. Mount SAC's agreements are annual. They're valid for 1 year only. And our numbering system reflects that. The first 4 digits in your agreement number always will be the year the agreement applies to. So this agreement applied to the 2021 year. The next 3 digits are literally where the document was once we sorted all of the agreements for the year. So this was the 64th agreement when they were organized. And the last alpha characters that follow are the program on campus that this agreement belongs to. On line 1, the agreement is being established between Mount SAC and the keeper of the curriculum that is being used in the agreed courses. Most times it is a school district, but there are times when it's ROP, and sometimes it's a district teacher teaching for the ROP. So we just need to really focus on whose curriculum are we using, who is maintaining it. That's who goes on this line. It also influences later who signs our document. On line 2, you're going to see that our agreements are location specific. So we are doing our agreements based on the school. So even if you teach on multiple campuses using the same course outline, you would need a separate document for each school. And we are also instructor specific. And this is really important. We have discovered over time, sometimes things happen. People get sick, accidents happen. If there is not an alternate teacher teaching the same content as you, it makes the document invalid. So if you happen to know you're going to go out for some type of illness and you can pre-plan, which isn't often, but sometimes it happens, please make sure we get a long-term sub on here. Otherwise, it really does invalidate the agreement, and then it does not apply when students are ready to participate. So only teachers named on these documents can have their students participate. And again, we can't modify the document once we get through being fully executed in the fall. The next section of our agreement is where we identify the courses. So, Mount San Antonio College is agreeing to provide students who meet the terms of our articulation agreement with credit by exam credit on our college transcript. To do that, we begin by looking at the high school course that is aligned with our college course. The course that is named here, it needs to be reflected on the school transcript. I point this out because sometimes the course outline has one name, but the campus puts it into the master schedule with a different name. What will happen is when students participate down the road, we're going to have a mismatch. We're looking for one course title and we get a transcript that has something that says something completely different. Then we're stuck because, again, it doesn't match the agreement. We're not going to be able to serve the students. So always make sure whatever is on this line is what is also going to be reflected on the student's school transcript. And we're also going to look at the number of credits. So in this case, the personal finance course, the student should be taking 2 semesters, 10 credits. Or it could be, one of the different school schedules we see from time to time, where maybe the student got all 10 credits in a single semester, depending on how they've organized bell schedule and that kind of thing. At the end of the day, we're just going to look for the 10 credits on the transcript. If a student meets all the terms and we find this course and appropriate credits on the transcript, then they will receive credit on a Mount SAC transcript. And in this case, they would be getting credit for personal financial planning, which is Mount SAC's course code BUSA and course number 71, and the student would receive 3 units. This is a very simple agreement. It's what we would call a one-to-one. Let's look at something a little more complicated. So in this case, we're looking at a photography agreement. And students participating on this agreement are going to need to complete 2 courses, 20 credits to be eligible to participate. So we're going to be looking for that beginning photography and 10 credits. And then we're going to look for the intermediate photography with 10 credits. And again, this has to match the transcript. If they're successful, then they're going to get credit in the Photo 10, Basic Digital, and Film for 3 credits at Mount SAC. It can work the other way as well. So here's an example of a 1-semester course at the high school, Accounting and Finance, but it's going to result in our posting credit in 2 courses at Mount SAC. So the document having multiple lines allows us to be very flexible in how we use it. It's important to know that whatever happens on the left-hand side, in this case, Accounting and Finance, at the completion or towards the end of that course, that single semester, is when students would be participating. Timeliness is very important. So they have to participate while they're associated with the courses named on the agreement. If there are multiple courses on the high school side, they would participate when they're completing the last of the courses. Next, we're going to look at the terms or the requirements for participating. All agreements are going to have this statement or something very similar to it intentionally. So it states that with instructor's recommendation and a grade of 70% C or better in all semesters, students are able to participate. That statement, instructor's recommendation, is there for you. As you become associated with this program, you're going to become aware of who is best suited to participate. Just because a student meets that minimum threshold of participation doesn't mean they should. And so you are the person that has the ability to determine who should be encouraged to participate and who should not. The minimum grade threshold here on this agreement is 70%. Some instructors or faculty on campus will make that 80% or B. So always pay attention to that. and it will always state in all semesters. So if it's an agreement where it's a one-to-one, then this student would need to have C in both the first and second semester. If it's an agreement like the photography agreement, where students had to have 2 years worth of coursework, we need to see that C or better in all 4 semesters. So keep that in mind, because every now and then we have somebody that misses in one semester, and then it makes them ineligible. This particular agreement states that the secondary course exams are going to meet the articulation exam requirement, and the final grade assigned in the secondary course in that final semester, assuming it's a 2-semester, is going to be used on the college transcript as the college grade. So in an agreement like this, you can assure students of what their grade would be, because you know what grade you're assigning them. So if all of the requirements are met, then that is the grade the student would get. These are very limited agreements where we're honoring the high school grade. The majority of them will require some type of exam. So keep in mind, if you have this type of an agreement, you know that you can assure students of what their outcome, what their grade will be. Let's look at another. So again, this agreement requires students to be training using a particular software. And some of our agreements do require a very specific software to be used. So in this case, it says Word 2016 or higher. And again, we have that discretionary statement of with instructor's recommendation and a minimal threshold for participation. But it goes on to say that the articulation grade will be determined by students completing 1 written and 3 practical hands-on exams covering Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access. And each of the 4 exams must be passed with a minimum grade of 70% or better. So again, now you're the teacher in the high school class, and you know you have a student who is meeting that minimum 70%, but you also know this student is really not good at Excel. And they're going to have to get 70% or better on that Excel in order to be able to pass this exam. If you know they're not good at Excel, maybe they're just marginal on Access, you probably don't want to recommend them to participate, because our goal is success. And so we want the right students to participate in exams. And just because they meet that minimum threshold doesn't mean they're the right person to take exams. Keep in mind that when there is an exam, we like faculty to share information that will help the high school teacher know what is going to be on the exam. Some of our faculty will actually allow the high school teacher to take the very exam students are going to need to pass later in the year, to get you familiar with how the questions are worded, how the exam is structured. That way you can be doing quizzes and exams with your students throughout the year to kind of build them up and get them ready. It also helps you to know how long the exam is. Some of our exams are very long, 150 questions, 2 hours or longer. And your students probably are not accustomed to taking exams that long. So you want to know that going in, because again, it helps you identify who has the best chance of succeeding. We try to have faculty provide you with something. If it's not access to the exam, then perhaps a study guide, a course syllabus, anything that can help you to make sure you're adequately preparing students so they're ready to succeed. Anytime faculty request you to be teaching from the same textbook, often there's a test bank associated. Be sure you have access to the test bank. We have a number of exams that are generated out of publishers' test banks. When that is the case, you want to be using that test bank throughout the year and in review as you prepare students for those articulation exams. So again, always understand your terms. You want to be sure you know what they are so that you can adequately prepare students and make sure you've identified the right students to be participating in the program. And the lower portion of our agreement So line 4 states that it is the instructor named on the agreement it's their responsibility to inform students about the articulation process, and all of the student articulation forms are submitted by that teacher at the completion of the courses identified in the document. There's two things going on here. First of all, we have a large articulation program, and it's not possible for the articulation staff to get out and inform all of your students about the process and encourage them to participate. And so we have to rely upon you to do that for us. So by entering into the agreement, you're understanding that you will be making students aware of this process. The other statement here is where it says, at the completion of all courses identified. Articulation is a timely process. Students must participate while they're associated with your course. We point this out because sometimes students participate when they're younger, maybe a freshman, maybe even a junior, and they're thinking, oh, I'm not going to MSAC. I don't need those credits. And then they're in their senior year and their dream school doesn't come through or the financial aid doesn't come through. And they come knocking on your door and they say, oh, hey, remember those credits at Mount Sac? Can I get them now? No, it's based on credit by exam. Students are most likely to pass an exam when the content has recently been addressed. And so they must participate while they're associated with your course. So keep those two things in mind. You're also reminded that the agreement is valid for one school year. We allow our school year to cover you through summer school. So if you happen to teach your content and it's the same content during summer school, it would remain valid during the summer school period. We start again in the fall. And so this agreement again was only good for students in 2021. In the next block, blocks 5 and block 6 really is where we begin capturing the required signatures. It's important to note that only faculty can offer you articulation. It's the articulation office's job to facilitate that process, but it must be faculty who initiate and agree to award the articulation. And so the faculty that has the content expertise is always the first person to sign the document. From there, it will be sent to you, the secondary teacher, or teachers. Sometimes we have multiple teachers that might sign this document. From there, it does bounce back onto campus. Department chair will sign it, division dean will sign it, and then it will bounce back out to the secondary where we ask the authorized administrator. And you may be asked who that should be at the time when you meet, so we know who to route it to. It depends on your district. Sometimes it's a principal. In other cases, it may be someone at the district. And in some cases, board actions required, and then a superintendent signs. So you're going to want to know what's expected in your district. Just in case, sometimes we already know, but just in case, we may have to do some investigation. So now it's going to go back and forth a bit. It will come back on campus. The articulation agreement number will be assigned. I will sign it. And then from there, it's considered fully executed. We use electronic signature. It's a fully electronic document. Once it's fully signed, then everyone who has had a reason to touch or sign this document will automatically get a copy by email. In addition to that, we do post it on the articulation web page. I hope that you will bookmark this page. There's a lot of information here. You will always find your articulation agreement here. You can find our contact information, activity reports, required forms. It's all there 24/7. Excuse me. Should you have questions, I'm Marie Tyra. Here's how you can reach me. I hope this has been a benefit to you. Thanks for being with us, and I look forward to meeting you soon.